There we go. All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Coochie's Corner after, what was it, 3 weeks again?
Four.
Four. Wow, 4 weeks. So we basically almost missed a month here of Coochie's Corner, which is always
Terrible.
bad. It's always bad. But we had, I think, legitimate reasons why we missed. Um, Actually, this is the first one on our brand new YouTube page. So we actually have Coochie's Corner YouTube channel, so you can finally find us on YouTube. You don't have to go through Elliot Henderson stuff anymore. For those of you that are not aware, we kind of don't have Elliot with us anymore. So we're kind of working through some of that stuff, which probably means I got to come up with a new logo for the show at some point, but more on that later. I first want to start off with Dover. And I know Dover was now 2 weeks ago, but for those of you that don't know, we sponsored Ryan Sieg Racing for two
Daytona.
races this year. We did Daytona with the truck and the Nationwide, which actually was kind of a gift from Danny Dugan, who we hope to have back on the show. Danny is just incredibly busy at this point in the season. Um, right now, he's just got a lot going on. That's why Danny hasn't been on the show a lot recently. We've been trying to have I try to have him on every week, but some weeks he's just too busy to do it. So that's part of it. And then, like I said, with Dover, I was very fortunate. My girlfriend and I were very fortunate to go down and spend the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday down in Dover. So all the races. And Friday and Saturday in particular, we were able to spend some time with Ryan Sieg and his race team and all that. Uh, I gotta say, Rod and Pam Sieg are two of the nicest people you're ever going to meet in the garage area. Um, I really thank them a lot for giving us the opportunity to come down there and kind of, hang out with them and steal some Gatorade out of their hauler and all that kind of good stuff. No, it wasn't stealing because obviously we were sponsors, so it was a lot of fun. I have to say I don't know too many team owners that you could spend an entire cup practice with and just hang out with them on the hill on the inside of the pit area there at Dover. We sat next to them for the whole cup happy hour on Saturday before the Nationwide race, and literally just talked about the sport. So it was just a really good time, and we really hope to be back on the car in the fall. That deal hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered yet, but as far as I know, it's we're gonna contact Danny and we're gonna get back on the car. And I gotta thank Danny as well for taking us around and introduce us some other people now in the garage area. So I got more than just Danny as a contact, so that's always good. And hopefully like I said, we'll be back on the car in Dover in the fall, and maybe we'll see what next year brings. But I'm not guaranteeing anything next year. But as Rob's cat comes flying into the room. But yeah, I mean, Dover was a great experience. I've done a lot of races, you know, over the years, and I gotta say it was the most exciting. I got to meet a ton of drivers.
Who's
Obviously,
your
not having.
favorite?
I gotta say the one I had the best time with had to have been Chris Buescher.
Yeah.
Um, I as funny as it sounds, I did not get a chance really to formally meet Ryan the whole weekend. I kind of it was kind of like a lot of it was Ryan was out in his motorhome and kind of I don't know what Ryan was doing, but he kind of wasn't interested in hanging out with me or my girlfriend at all or Danny for that matter. So yeah, none of us really got to see Ryan that much, but I'm sure he was busy doing race car driver stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing I didn't know was that Cowboy Starlin is his crew chief. For those of you that remember, Cowboy used to be David Ruderman's crew chief in the Truck Series. Then he worked for some other teams, and Cowboy's kind of one tough customer. You really don't interact with him too much. So, which Rod and Pam, I think, they don't mind his personality. Maybe like some of the other teams that he used to work for did. But he's probably the best crew chief Ryan's had, and talent wise, I would say, and getting a 13th at Dover was pretty good for a little underfunded team. Getting 13th, it felt like we were winning that race with those logos on the C pillars. So it was a really good weekend, and like I said, we we had our choice of going on either the truck or the nationwide, and I just had a feeling that the nationwide car was going to be the better race, because obviously they put more money in that. And the trucks, if you guys watched the truck race on that Friday, Ryan did not have a flat tire. I know they reported that during the race, but that was not what happened. He actually broke a right shim in the front of the front of that truck, and that's why he fell 5 laps down. And basically, when you're not running for points, you don't have to really finish out the race, especially when you're not getting that much money for running that race. They basically took 2 sets of tires and rolled that into Saturday, which you're allowed to do. NASCAR allows you to take 2 sets of tires from the truck series and bring it to your nationwide operation, as long as you're under the seven tire limit for that weekend.
Huh.
So they actually only bought 4 sets of tires for the nationwide car. They bought, I think, 3 or something for the truck, and they ended up taking 2 sets off of the trucks and bringing them over to nationwide. So I had 6 sets for the race, not just 2 sets or 3 sets. They had 6 sets for that race. Obviously, one was scuffs and one was a set of brand new tires that they could run. So yeah, I mean that was all kind of the stuff I learned. Friday, I will tell you, I spent a ton of time just hanging out with Danny and the Siegs and all that. That was basically Friday. Saturday, I was more of a fan. I was getting autographs. I think I only have like 8 or 9 driver autographs.
Only 8 or 9.
Maybe 10. I don't know. I gotta count.
Still more than me.
I got Brendan Gaughan, who I've met Brendan like 3 times. So I mean, that was different autograph session. I always like going to meet Brendan only because Brendan will actually take the time to write your name down on whatever he's signing. So I actually got a 2 Bobby Brendan Gaughan, the whole 9 yards. So that's always cool.
It makes it more personalized.
Exactly. Yeah. Which to me it's more valuable. I mean, I would never sell a hero card anyhow, but I keep it. Like I said, I know everyone sees my beautiful diecast. This is like a third of my collection here. This isn't even all of it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff on the other side of the wall.
I got something cool to show you later in the race, in the show.
Wow, we're racing now, Rob? I didn't even know, man.
We're racing.
Yeah.
We got our cup cars here.
So yeah, Brendan Gaughan was the first one. Then I actually got Ty Dillon to stop and actually do an autograph for me. Ty was walking away from me. I was like, hey, Ty. He turned around, stopped what he was doing. Now, mind you, this is Saturday morning. They're going out to qualify. He stops. He comes out, hey, buddy, how you doing? And he just signs the hero card. I don't even think it was a hero card. I think he signed my credential holder, which, mind you, was a Roush Fenway credential holder. He signs it. He signs my girlfriend's credential holder, the whole 9 yards, and wish him good luck, the whole 9 yards. And then Ty goes off and does what he does. I mean, Ty didn't have to stop, but he stopped and did that. And then Saturday I had probably like 4 or 5 diecast cards with me. I was trying to get guys to sign diecast cards that I had for different drivers, and the only one I got to sign a diecast was Trevor Bayne. And Trevor was kind of a hard one to get because when everyone came out of the drivers' meeting on Saturday, all the Cup guys were right at the front of the line, sprinting. Well, maybe not sprinting, but they were definitely walking fast, trying to miss the swarm of people who are trying to get their autographs. Matt Kenseth led the pack. He was already out. And I couldn't even get my hero card signed that I grabbed off of the back of his hauler. He couldn't even sign that in time. So I was waiting. I was really waiting for Trevor because I knew I wasn't getting Kenseth. So I was like, well, the only other one I really care about is Trevor Bayne because I got Ryan Reed before then. I got Chase Elliott. I got Kyle Larson. Now Larson, I got interestingly, he was actually walking out of one of the Porta Johns on pit road, and he just happened to walk out, and I just happened to be right there, and he signed my hero card. I was walking with him, talking with him the whole 9 yards. It was probably one of the more interesting autographs I got. But he signed it, same thing. He signed my girlfriend's, and that was cool. And Trevor, like I said, Trevor didn't come out of the drivers' meeting, so I was like, what is going on? So then I found out they were having a church Bible study after the drivers' meeting. So obviously, for those of you that
There.
don't know, Trevor's a very devout Christian, which hey, that's fine. That's his beliefs and all that, which
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with. So they did their service, and then Trevor was literally the first one out, and I was waiting for Trevor to walk right past me. He actually saw me holding the 21 Wood Brothers car. Now, mind you, I had the Daytona 500 win car that Trevor didn't sign with me. I gave him his 2013 car to sign. So I was like, all right, whatever. It wasn't really the one I wanted signed, but it was the next best thing. So my Sharpie died, and I couldn't figure out why it died because it worked all morning long. I got 3 or 4 guys used it.
That's why.
So Trevor whips one out of his suit. I mean, he had one in his sleeve. He just whipped it out of his sleeve
Smart.
and signed the car. So then later on, after I got Trevor's autograph and everything, there was. I mean, I know you've never been in a NASCAR garage like that, Rob, but
No.
there's literally a swarm of people that have binders. I mean, binders of driver cards, not even hero cards. They're like the little baseball cards.
Yeah.
So there was 3 guys that got Trevor to sign like 12 player cards in each one of their sleeves, and they had 3 sleeves of them. So these guys are selling them. Yeah, and Trevor's sitting there signing them. And Trevor's autograph, if you've ever seen Trevor's autograph, I'll show you an example later. But
Yeah.
he signs his name, and then he puts the number of the car, and then he puts the little fish, the Christian symbol on it.
Yeah.
So he's doing that on every single one of those little player cards.
Holy crap.
So I mean, you can just imagine, and here he is doing 12, 12, 12, and 12. And he was doing he did 36 of them. So then I'm looking at my autograph. I'm looking at my Sharpie. Why is it not working? So I take my book bag and I just, kind of
Start drawing on it.
No, I put a mark on my book bag and it showed up. So I was like, so then I'm looking and I'm like, wait, there's a piece of blue fuzz on this thing. It was actually a piece of Trevor's fire suit that came off and stuck to my pen. That it was
you should have sold it.
I should have sold it, but I took the fuzz off of it after I realized it was off of Trevor's fire suit. But I was like, whatever. But yeah, it was cool. Then Sunday, so Saturday, did the race, the whole 9 yards. After the race, we went back into the garage area. I was actually looking for Rod and Pam, couldn't find them. I guess they already booked out of town, which was fine. Hey, I would want to get the hell out of there too if I was them.
Yeah.
And so we were just walking through the garage area. ESPN was actually doing an interview with Chris Buescher. And this is why I'm going to tell you Chris was the best guy I met all weekend. Chris literally did the interview and was walking with the reporters. I had a Chris Buescher hero card. I went in the back of all the haulers, and they literally had out, within public grab, every team had their hero card. So I was just collecting them all. So I have, basically all the nationwide ones that teams had out. So I'm sitting there, and I, walk up to Chris, and he's, hey, how you doing, this, that, and the other. So I'm talking to him, telling him how my girlfriend's father works for a Ford dealership. So he stops, and, he's talking to us, this, that, and the other. And, he's like, oh, where from? And we're telling him, we're in northern Jersey, the whole 9 yards. And we turn around, and we didn't notice this at first, but Chris was wearing a shirt, Keep Calm and Chive On. Now, what's funny is my girlfriend's father's nickname is Chives. So Chris turns around, we take a photo, send it to my girlfriend's dad, the whole 9 yards, and it was a great time. And Chris couldn't have been a nicer guy. Like I say, he just finished his TV obligation, and could have blown us all off. But he, even Jamie Little, said, hey Chris, we'll let you take care of the fans, and that thing, because like I said, it was me, my girlfriend, and I think there was maybe another guy behind us that wanted his autograph, and and we actually got to walk out with him, walk out to the thing, and then he went to his motorhome and got to his golf cart and took a ride to get out of there. So we actually like I said, walked and talked to him for 5 minutes. So it was cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, didn't have to. I mean, I didn't even notice it was Chris Buescher until I walked past him and I said, wait, that's Chris Buescher. So I was like, hey, you don't get to meet a guy when he's just starting out in the Nationwide Series like that much. So that was pretty good. Sunday, obviously, we didn't have any passes to get in. I had an opportunity to do cup passes, but it would have meant that I would have spent a lot of money that weekend, and I didn't want to do it. So, and it would have been involving sponsorship of another team, which I just didn't feel like doing. Rob knows what I'm talking about because he knows that story. Or if he doesn't, he'll be told it off air.
Yeah.
Because that is something I don't want to publicly talk about because
Yeah, I'll have to hear that at the end of the show. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe I told that to Elliot, but
because the other
Danny.
team I'm thinking of that you have been contacted from before, they definitely didn't run that race.
They haven't run any races this year, but
yeah, because they've been doing more end speed stuff.
more on that later. But
yeah.
Obviously, the second thing we got to talk about after we talk about Dover is Dale Jr.'s big win at Pocono. Yeah. Ironically, I was at Pocono. I will say the only other driver I met at Dover was Joey Logano for the second time. One quick story on that, and then we'll get to Pocono. Joey's autograph session was at 7 a.m. Guess what time I was at the track? 4:30.
Why?
I was the first person to get a ticket for the Joey Logano autograph session.
You're crazy.
Why not? Why not?
You're crazy.
I know I'm wearing a Dale Jr. hat, but I mean, come on. It's Joey Logano. You don't get to meet Joey Logano every day. I was only like 5 feet from him the day before. Couldn't get his autograph.
You know what we need for this show is Crew Chief's corner hats. We need some of those.
Yeah, we do need to make some.
We always wear hats.
We need a new design.
I can work on that.
Yeah, Hud's. Your buddy Hudsby involved in this thing.
Hudsby, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll work on that tonight.
None of that Henderson graphics garbage. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Oh God.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
We love you, Elliot.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Come back. No, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
So whatever. So we're online getting Joey Logano's autograph, right?
Yeah.
These two guys will come in, and Rob, you're gonna love this story because this actually has something to do with you.
With me?
Not you personally, but
do they know me?
But your country, your Providence, the whole 9 yards, dude.
Province, not Providence. Canada.
Yeah, you know what I meant. You know what I meant. All right.
I know what you mean.
This guy comes up, right?
Yeah.
And he's got his young son with him. Had to be like 3 or 4 years old. Real young. Kid's walking in, he's got Joey Logano hat on. Doesn't have a racing T-shirt on. He's just got a regular shirt and stuff. And the guy's like, "Hey guys, you guys in line for Joey Logano?" And we're like, "Yeah, he's doing an autograph session tonight." Oh, he's like, "We're from Ontario, Canada now," which I'm sure is totally not where you're from, but
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, see, I kind of. So he's like, "Yeah, we drove, God knows how many hours down to Delaware."
A lot.
It was a long drive. And this is my son's first race. This is only like his third or fourth race. And first thing that jumped into my mind, why wouldn't you go to Watkins Glen? It's so much closer. But then again, it was probably like, so there's a group of like maybe 15 in front of us, right? Yeah. And they're all friends. They all know each other. So they're all like, "Yeah, we've met Joey before." So they give the kid one of the tickets. One of the girlfriends or the wives was like, "Here, you can have my ticket. Let the kid get the autograph. The autograph, this, that, and the other." So actually, it was 2 autograph items per person. So the guy actually had a friend that was there with him, and his friend and his friend's son came over. So they both got autographs. They got their pictures taken with Joey, the whole 9 yards. And the guy turns around and says, one of the guys that was in the party was saying, "Oh, I'm going up to Canada, this, that, and the other." So the guy turns around and says, "Being that you guys are so nice," he says, "Yeah, I'm going to hook you guys up with some front row seats at I guess there's an MLS team up there or some kind of professional soccer team up there somewhere."
Yeah, there's Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal.
Well, I think it was Toronto. I could be wrong.
Probably Toronto because that's closer to Bowmanville, which is where Canadian Tire Motorsport Park is.
So he's like, the company I work for has season tickets, so he's going to give when he gets the season tickets, he's going to give those tickets to the guy when he's up there in Canada to go watch a soccer game in the front row.
That's pretty
So
cool.
That's like a crazy pay it forward, story. And it was just, I thought you get a kick out of it because it had something to do with Canada and Ontario and all that good stuff. So
it's pretty cool.
Good job, everybody up in Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, yay. And it was really funny because the guy was like, he's like, you'd never run into people like this in any other sport outside of NASCAR. And I'm like, and I told the guy, I was like, it's so true. I mean, if they didn't give up their ticket, I would have given up my ticket because I met Joey before. I got Joey Logano autograph stuff. I can get Joey Logano's autographed cars. They're not hard to get. I mean, I could have gotten them whenever, but just for that kid to meet a driver that he liked, even if it wasn't his favorite driver, even if he just happened to wear the Logano hat, I don't care. Little kid, that means a lot to him. So that was really cool. Now on to
the little kid's life, honestly.
Yeah, and maybe you made him a Joey Logano fan for the rest of his life, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Joey's a good kid.
Yeah.
Joey actually took a selfie with my girlfriend, so it was fantastic.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, Joey was a really good guy. Even though someone gave him Girl Scout cookies. I never understand the people that give driver stuff when they're at a driver's appearance. Because do you really think the drivers keep that stuff?
No, it probably goes in the garbage. Depending on what it is.
Maybe the tag-alongs. It wasn't tag-alongs. I think they were Samoas. Maybe that's Joey's favorite cookie. Maybe somehow they are such a super fan, they know that that's Joey's favorite cookie, and that's why they gave it to him. But I was kind of blown away. So then they give him a shirt, right? And it says something like, "I'm man enough to wear a Girl Scout shirt," or something crazy like that. Joey took a photo of the woman that gave it to him, the whole 9 yards. I was like, all right. And this was the first person that saw Joey, and I'm like, I feel bad for Joey right now because he just had to deal. He had to deal with that whole thing. I was just like, wow, that's
7 o'clock in the morning too.
No, his autograph session was at 9:30.
I thought you said 7.
They gave out tickets at 7. You had to get in line for tickets.
You waited 5 hours to meet Joey Logano.
Yes.
You're crazy.
And do you know at the racetracks they actually bring in bomb-sniffing dogs to make sure that no one's putting a bomb in the garbage cans?
I didn't know that.
Yep. That's what you find out when you go to the racetrack at 4:30 in the morning. And we were there so early, Rob, we couldn't get into the gate to get into the track.
Nobody that works there was probably awake yet.
They were. They opened the gate up at 4:30. I was there at 4:15. I was physically on the grounds at 4:15.
What time did you wake up at?
3.
Wow.
I stayed an hour away from the track, too. Don't forget.
You're crazy, dude. You're nuts.
and that's why I have a lot of respect for.
Anyways.
So anyways, Dale Jr.'s win. I'm not going to tell you about the Jimmy Johnson Dover one because that's kind of boring. No one wants to know about that.
No, that was a long time ago anyways.
That was a long time ago. So Dale Jr., I will tell you that the Pocono race, I know a lot of people don't like Pocono because it's boring on TV. Go to the track. Go to the track, watch the race. It's so much more enjoyable when you go to the track.
It's not an easy track to drive either.
No, it's not. And I've had the good fortune of walking on that racetrack before. I didn't obviously this weekend, but I walked that racetrack before. It's very shocking when you come up to it in person. You see turn 1, the way it's banked, the whole 9 yard. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then you go down to turn 2, and
which is
it's
a
almost like a
sweeping corner. Right. And then you have turn 3, which is really wide, and it's a real, turn 3, that turn feels like you're turning forever.
Turn 3 is a very tough turn.
Yeah.
I've driven it on iRacing, which is
it's very flat, and like I said, it's very long, and you're in that turning motion forever.
And you're turning hard.
Yeah. Well, turn one's that's crazy because you guys slam on your brakes and make sure you don't wheel hop it and do all the other crazy stuff that you can get. You can really screw yourself up in turn one if you're not careful. So Brad Keselowski had the car to beat the whole race. There was one or two times where Tony Stewart took the lead and it looked like Tony had the car to beat. There was a ton of strategies going on. Guys were doing the road course adage of go from 160 and go backwards, that whole 9 yards. But you can throw all the strategy out the window when they had those late cautions. I mean, they had 3 or 4 cautions there at the end of the race, and it just really killed it.
Yeah.
I will say this about the finish. I really don't know if Brad would have blown up. I've been thinking about it all weekend. I mean, all week. Up to the when I knew we were going to do the show. I just really don't think Brad would have blown up. If he was going to blow up, he was going to blow up behind Junior, not when leading. Because he had to clean air the whole 9 yards.
The risk was definitely higher when he was behind Junior, for sure.
The thing I was worried about was him and Dale getting in a wreck when that whole Danica thing happened. I was listening at the end of the race. I was listening on my fan vision. I was listening to Dale Jr.'s spotter, Dale Jr.'s channel, Keselowski's channel, and I think Logano's. No, it wasn't Logano. It was Kenseth, because Kenseth was still in the race, but he was 28th or something at the time.
Because of his nose was all messed up.
His nose, yeah. So I was listening to basically the two leaders, and Keselowski immediately was complaining about how high his temperatures were. And I really was shocked that he went up behind Danica, because his spotter told him like 4 or 5 times, I wouldn't worry about it. I just drive it.
Yeah.
I just drive it. If it blows up, it blows up. And even Brad said it. If it blows up, it blows up. I mean, what are we going to do? So he said, if you want to, the 10 cars come in, blah, 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 blah. And then Brad went up and said, I just don't think I'm going to make it. So when he said that, I knew he was trying to go up and get behind Danica. And I saw that move, and I knew Junior was going to get a run, because as they were talking, Junior's team was obviously listening to what was going on. And they told Junior, they said, watch out. He's going to try to get behind Danica here. And at this point, they already told Junior that he had a piece of trash on his nose. So, and mind you, MRN radio and everything is piped into the fan vision. So they're like 2 apps behind what's going on. Like MRN, because there's always that, not that there's a delay, it's just there's a delay in getting the information. So like they heard it, so they can't, they don't say it when it's happening real time, because they're talking about what's going on at the race, and then they'll say, oh, and by the way, Dale Jr.'s got a piece of trash on his grill, but first they said the Brad Keselowski thing, so all the Dale Jr. fans around me are going crazy. They're like, yeah, Junior's going to win. And all of a sudden they say, Junior's got a piece of trash on the grill, and then everyone's like, oh, everyone just shut up. It was like dead silence in the grandstands. And then that whole thing with Danica happened, and everybody was going crazy. And I turned around to my father, who was at Pocono with me, and I said, you wait, Brad's going to win this race. And he says, you think? I said, yeah. I said, he tried to get the trash off, couldn't get it off. I said, he's got a faster car. He's going to chase Junior down. And for a while there, it looked like he was going to do it. But he just, I don't know if he gave up too much space. I don't know what it was, but he just, I think it was the dirty air, number one. I don't think his car was driving the way it was when it was out front. So I think he just, had a tough time catching him.
His big issue was with the debris on the front grille. He was overheating, which was also causing him to lose power. So he wasn't getting the full power that his car had before. So
right.
That prevented him from being able to catch Junior. At points when he was able to get behind him, the trash would flap up, and he'd get like a burst of power again, and then it would just go away.
Yeah. And I think the reason why Junior never had any issues with water temperature or anything,
it was a very small piece of trash.
It was a very small piece of trash, but it was also lower than Brad's trash was.
Yeah.
It was lower on the actual, so it constricting less air than what Brad's was. Um, you know, I don't know exactly what happened to Logano's motor. I was listening to his radio. The only thing I knew was coming to the green, he said, "We're gonna blow up here. Something's not right with the motor." And he knew it half a lap before that restart happened. I don't know why he, didn't get out of line. I mean, his spotter even told him, like, just go, see what happens. And I'm like, oh, that's great. You're gonna go and the thing's gonna blow up and the whole field's gonna wreck behind you. That's smart. And it basically almost happened. I mean, Boyer had to check up, Gordon had to check up, so it took like 4 or 5 guys that had good cars out of the mix, and that's why Brad and Junior got such a big jump on everybody. Because Joey was like 5th at the time, So when Junior won, it was everyone was going bonkers in the grandstands. I was hearing everybody saying Junior's going to win the championship. Then I was like, need I remind these people that Jimmie Johnson just won 2 races like the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So come on. I still think you gotta go through Jimmy's. You still gotta go through Jimmy's house to get the championship, and that's where we're gonna stand on that. But
there's a couple more guys that are there too.
You got Harvick. Harvick's been there.
Joey Logano.
Logano's been there. Brad's there. I mean, I know Brad doesn't have 2 wins
yet. Gonna be there.
I don't know though. I really don't know with Matt. Those guys really worry me. Dover, even though Matt finished 3rd at Dover, he had a good car, but it wasn't a great car. He could not run with Jimmie Johnson at all on the short or the long run. He couldn't even run with I think it was Gordon was up there too towards the end of that race. He couldn't even run with Jeff Gordon on a long run. Matt was always backing up to him. Kyle had the car at Dover. I think Kyle would have won that race had Boyer and Spotter not cleared him.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I was actually hoping that Kyle was going to take Boyer out, so that Kyle was going to get parked for Pocono, but that didn't happen. Because I really wanted to see Sam Hornish in that 18 car, but it didn't happen.
Could see him next year.
Well, I don't know about that.
In the 21.
Well, yeah, maybe the 21 car. But, yeah, so that was pretty much it with Pocono. I got a ton of photos of Dale Jr.'s win, so I'll try to get some of the photos on the Coochie's Corner pages soon. I probably have about 1,000 photos between the 2 weekends, so
yeah, I'd say so.
There's a ton. So yeah, we'll get all that stuff up, but let's talk a little bit about the news the last, I guess, 2 weeks really.
Let's go. Hold on. Let's go to the Texas truck race first.
Yeah, I watched the Texas. I watched most of it. I didn't really see the ending. I know Crafton won, but Eric Jones did pretty well for his first 1.5-mile track in their trucks.
Yeah, 11th is respectable.
Well, he was up there though. He was up a little bit further than that at times. The thing that he had the biggest problem was when guys were on the inside of him, he got a lot. He got loose a lot. He just really didn't have the drive in the car that he felt comfortable with. So I think that's what he was dealing with a lot in that race. But Matt Crafton had a great truck. There's just no doubt about it. He proved why he's a champion in this sport, and in that series at least, and he's really good. That was an exciting race, though. There was a couple guys that could have won that race. You can throw Justin Lofton in there. And how about that? Lofton. Here's a guy that won one truck race at Charlotte, and if you remember correctly, it was off of strategy. It wasn't really like he dominated that truck race.
Yeah.
He's
been out of the sport for.
Well, he ran some races last year, but he was not running. Huh?
Not much though.
No, he ran 5 races and he didn't run for a top-notch team. And to come back and run that truck, which has been pretty sporty. Austin Dillon's run some races in that truck and has done okay.
Gray
Gaulding's had some good races. I think Gray's a little bit of a hothead sometimes.
He's still young though.
Yeah. And I really don't know about Brendan Newberry. He just seems to tear up everything he races. I don't know.
Yeah.
His dad's got to have a ton of money. That's all I gotta say. Because
Yeah, that sounds about right.
he tears up so much stuff, Rob. I don't know. I really don't know. I just hope he works on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because those Fab guys gotta hate him. And you know what the funny thing is? Gray's dad basically owns NTS now. He basically runs it, at least.
Well, he's probably the one putting all the money into it.
Yeah. Even though Brendan's dad was the one that bought the team to begin with.
Yeah, because no one else would sign the kid.
Yeah.
Newberry. But I think the coolest story out of Texas was the guy that got so excited just to get a top 3, get back to the media center for the first time in a while, Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, I mean, Joe didn't have a truck that could run in the top 5 the whole race.
No.
He did get there with a little bit of strategy. He had a top 10 truck, though. Yeah, he was about 8th, 9th. You know, that's about what they've been running.
They've been about an 8th place truck all year.
And for those of you that don't know, Joe's running this team with it's Sid Mondine or something like that.
Something like
that. He's got a bunch of different companies in Texas. He's a very wealthy guy, and Sid's been under the weather and stuff. He's been in a hospital the last couple of races and stuff. And you know, Joe puts a ton of money into that program too. I will tell you from my own personal experience at Dover, John Hunter has a nicer trailer and a nicer tractor than his father does.
Really?
Yeah. The hauler that they drive John Hunter's trucks in is 10 times better than what Joe has. It is so much better. It's so much nicer. It is actually a modern hauler. It's not like Joe Nemechek's hauler from 2001 when he had Cellular One on his Nationwide car. That's a cup hauler that he has for Identity Ventures Racing. That's what they use. And John Hunter's got this brand new thing.
You mean Jay Robinson Nemco Racing or
whatever? No, it's Identity Ventures. They changed the name.
Again.
Yeah, you know, just call it whatever. Well, and the team that John Hunter runs for is Nemco SWM.
It's SWM Nemco or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just funny. And and I think Nemechek's Nationwide team is actually Nemco still.
Yeah, it is.
Even though JD Johnny Davis's team uses that number now a lot.
For Daryl Haar.
Daryl Haar, they'll use it for LePage. I think there's been a couple other guys in that car this year. And then Joe runs some races now and again when he has money to do it. But yeah, it was good to see Joe get a 3rd place finish. I heard a little birdie told me that that's all KBM stuff. So I don't know if it's brand new KBM stuff or secondhand KBM stuff, but
I think it's all new.
It is KBM stuff, so Joe should be running pretty good in that stuff. So yeah, that's why. That's that. So. So yeah, that was the whole Texas deal. I don't know. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about with Texas?
Not really. I just wanted to talk about Nemechek in the top 3.
Yeah, and like I said, I was really happy for him. I was even happy to see not Joe, but I was really happy to see Morgan Shepherd in the Nationwide Garage.
Yeah.
You know, at Dover, and then obviously he ran the race. He's going to run the race this weekend at Michigan. I believe he's on the entry list.
Yeah, he is.
Morgan's one of the hardest working guys in the garage area. I know Danny says the hardest working guy in the garage area is Norm Benning, but I disagree. I think Morgan Shepherd's even a harder worker because Morgan does it with guys that are basically his age. I don't know if you've seen his crew. The 3 or 4 guys that work with Morgan are his age.
Yeah, as soon as they get back from over the wall, they have to hook them up to the oxygen tanks. So.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Actually, one more story from Texas, just very quick. We got to congratulate Brian Silas in that 99 team. His first career truck top 10 in so many starts.
Brian is by far one of the nicest guys you'll meet. I met Brian on Friday. down at Dover. Danny knows him a little bit better than I do. And the funny part was Danny was joking with Brian that he should remember him by now. He's met him so many times. And Brian's like, he's like, I told you the last time you met me. I can't remember anything, man. He said, I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. And that's just the kind of guy Brian Silas is. He's a really good guy, down to earth, and
he's got a good hard head too. From when he fell in the truck, it didn't.
I didn't want to bring that up. But I'm sure he's gotten a lot of heck for that. But yeah, he's a good guy, and he was even talking about maybe doing some ARCA races, maybe.
Sweet. I think he'd do pretty well in that.
He says it's all dependent on what his dad wants to do.
For all the money.
Yep. That's actually what's on the truck is his dad's company. So
yeah.
If you didn't know that already, but
I knew that.
I think everybody kind of knew that, but yeah. So moving on to the news, the last couple of weeks. I guess the thing everyone's been talking about is Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle, where they're going to end up. Poking around in the garage area, I've heard Carl has been talking to Penske. Penske denies the whole thing.
Penske says no, but then again, he could just be keeping it secret because you don't really want the word getting out of who you're talking to.
Yeah, I've heard that he's been in the shop a few times. So when you hear that someone's been in a team shop, it's usually pretty good.
A few times as well, not just once.
Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that Biffle talked to Michael Waltrip and Michael Waltrip Racing, and that deal was going nowhere. So
I'm gonna actually say right now that deal's done.
Oh no, it's
over.
It's over. They're not signing.
They just signed Brett Moffitt today, so.
Biffle is gonna stay with Roush.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it's a 3-year deal, and it'll be they'll do another 3M, and it'll say 3 more years on the hood or something. They're gonna do another subliminal, thing on the hood. Probably, I don't know if it's gonna be this weekend. It might be next weekend, but that's how they're gonna announce it. So Biffle's gonna stay. Carl, I'm gonna kind of put in my own little 2 cents here. If Carl really wants to win a championship, I believe he's gonna go to Penske.
Yeah.
And here's why. Joe Gibbs, I think last week, said that he does not have the resources to go to 4 cars yet. I think a lot of that's got to do with he hasn't talked to Carl at all, because I think if he has, he would have at least have half the funding needed to put that car together. Because I would like to think Carl's marketability, especially with Subway, Aflac, and even Fastenal to a degree, would have given him enough to put at least half of the deal together. I think Joe would have had to have put the other half together, which is why I think the 20 deal a couple years ago when that came up initially for Carl, I think that's why they wanted Carl then, because the Home Depot was going to do some races. You were going to have Dollar General doing some, then Subway and Aflac were going to fill out that schedule. That whole thing fell forward on the table and gave Carl that later deal. I heard the same deal could be on the table again from Ford. Either Roush or Penske if he wants it. So I think Ford wants Carl very much to stay in the camp. If he stays with Roush, I think that would be a good idea. The only thing I worry about is Carl's heart in Roush still. Does he really want to be there? I don't know. When he was asked that question, can you win a championship, and gave that gigantic pause that was heard around the world, I think that said it all. I really don't think Roush is a championship caliber team anymore.
No.
It's not a knock on what Jack has built. Jack's won 2 championships, which is more than some teams have won. I mean, hell, it's more than what Penske's won in this sport, in the Cup Series. And, I just think right now Penske's a little bit further ahead in engineering. He's still going to run Roush Yates engines, which are the same engines he's been racing forever. I just think Penske's a little bit better with their engineering right now.
Yeah, I think it's just time for a change for
Yeah.
Edwards, and
I think
he's the best fit for him.
I think he would be a great help to both Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, he'd bring a good veteran presence to the team, which they really don't have.
Well, they have a little bit with Brad, but Brad has his moments where Brad's just being Brad,
Yeah.
you know, and Carl is not outspoken like Brad is. Carl's kind of like the cool, calm denominator, and it's going to be interesting. I think the other big news that we're going to have to follow is obviously the whole thing with Casey Kane now. I don't know if you read, but Farmers renewed, but they're only doing 12 races now. They were doing 22 a season, so I don't know where the other 10 races each year is now going to come from. We all know that there's been some talk that Gordon might be losing some sponsorship. There's been some talk about is AARP going to renew. So Hendrick might be in a little bit of a bind. Thank God Dale Jr.'s car is covered next year because that's usually been the empty car the last few years, but now it's looking like Kane's car is going to be a little emptier, and Gordon's car could be emptier next year too.
The thing about Hendrick, though, is they have that full-time sponsorship on both Jimmy's car and Dale's cars, so they can kind of take some of that money and put it towards the other cars, so you don't really have to worry
and
about
Rick is well-to-do enough that
money, yeah.
Rick makes enough money off his car dealerships, off of everything else that Rick Hendrick touches.
Yeah, HendrickCars.com.
Yeah, that whole thing, he makes enough money on that.
Yeah. Outside
of just the other stuff that Rick does, business to business, all the other deals he does, that he doesn't necessarily need to have full sponsors. And Rick's willing to spend the money. I mean, Rick's very, very open that he doesn't want to take all this money to his grave, and I'm sure he doesn't. And we all know the wad of cash that Rick Hendrick sits on. It's pretty big. It's just ginormous. And I will tell you, it was interesting. When I met Chase Elliott, I kind of was worried at first I was going to even get Chase's autograph because Chase was up watching Nationwide practice at Dover, and he came down, he snuck down real fast and went in his hauler to get changed in his driver uniform because he was actually still in his polo and his jeans. So he comes out. There's this little kid in front of me, right, with his mom to get Chase's autograph. So I stood right, 5 feet behind the kid and his mom so I could get Chase's autograph because I'm like, there's no way he's getting past that kid and getting to me and not going through me first. I'm like, there's just no way. So yeah. Chase was signing autographs, this, that, and the other. Now, mind you, I'm wearing full Chase Elliott stuff, so Chase obviously stops to sign an autograph for me. Couldn't have been a nicer guy. I never met his dad, so I couldn't tell you if he was nicer than his dad or meaner than his dad. But Chase was a really good kid, and I'm just glad I got his autograph before he blows up into this Jeff Gordon replacement.
Which is soon.
Which is going to be in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's, Hendrick's stacked for a while. Until Jimmy retires, he's legitimately got a really good team. I don't think Jimmy's going to retire anytime soon, but I think it's maybe 5-10 years down the road.
I'd say about 10, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in that neighborhood. It could be 8. It could be whatever. Junior's probably got, probably 10 years still in him, I think, between what Junior wants to do. Well, no, I mean, Junior wants to go back down the ranks. He wants to go into Nationwide again and then go down into the Truck Series because he wants to kind of do the win in all 3 thing.
Yeah.
But he wants to win. He wants to win a Sprint Cup. Then he wants to. Obviously, he's already won Nationwide championships. Then he wants to go down and win the Truck Championship. So he wants to do all 3. That's Junior's kind of long-term goal. He might win a Cup championship this year. I don't know if that's ever going to work, but we'll see.
Never know.
Could you imagine how many people would say that championship would be fixed if he actually won the championship this year?
Everybody.
Everybody and their mother and brother.
Yeah, especially you.
I actually don't mind Junior. When I was never a fan of his father, I liked Junior from when he was a young guy in the Cup Series. I didn't like him in the Nationwide Series because I was a huge Matt Kenseth fan, and I still am. and they were, they were rivals, but they were friends, and I never got that whole thing until I really read some articles on Matt and Dale Jr. and how they were best friends off the track and that whole thing, which kind of makes it even weirder that they he drives for for Hendrick and Matt drives for Gibbs, that whole thing. I was like, why don't they work together at some point? I don't know. It just never made sense to me. But anyhow, the other big news is Kyle Larson's gonna be a dad, so that's crazy.
So he's a kid himself, and he's a kid. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
All these drivers having kids lately. David Reagan this week.
Yeah, but I mean, at least the guys that have, at least the drivers that have been having kids aren't like 21.
Aren't kids themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Larson, I don't know. I kind of, even Denny Hamlin, when Denny first announced that him and his girlfriend were having a kid, I was like, did Denny screw up and
forget something or what?
Yeah. So I'm sure that's what Kyle will never say that, but I'm sure that's wasn't planned. I'm sure.
No, probably not.
Oh, Larson. Oh, Kyle Larson. What are we going to do with you?
It happens.
Well, let's hope he doesn't drive any slower because of that. Because of sleepless nights or anything like that, Well,
during the race season, the kid will be at home and he'll be on the road, so.
That's true, so.
He'll be okay.
He'll have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think of Brett Moffitt? Do you think they're trying to make this kid some kind of crazy talent that maybe he's not? I mean, I know he's won K&N championships and all that, but he's not really run a ton of Nationwide.
2 races.
And all the other stuff.
Race. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, to me, I think they're really pushing it.
I don't know. Like, I think the kid has talent for sure. But are they doing the right thing with it?
Right.
I think if they could find maybe a nationwide spot for him, that'd be the right thing to do. As of right now, they haven't really set anything with this contract. I believe it's a multi-year contract, so 3+. I don't know. If they could find him a nationwide seat, I'd go for it. Give him some time to actually run and prove himself before moving him up to the Cup Series.
Well, I think the problem is that they just don't have a nationwide seat for him because they really don't have any alliances anymore in the Nationwide Series.
They might have to go create a new one just for him.
But I don't see anywhere where they actually signed him to a deal, though. I know he's running the one race like this weekend. I know he does testing and stuff for him.
Well, what they did is they posted a press release on their website. There's comments from him and Ty Norris, and they announced that he was signed to a multi-year deal, and he'd run about 5 or so more races the rest of this year. But they didn't say if it's going to be an MWR car or Jay Robinson.
I will tell you now, it's going to all be.
It'll more than likely be MWR. Yeah.
It's funny. It's not even on their Facebook page.
They had tweeted it earlier.
Everybody put it on Facebook. Nobody. I understand Twitter, but I'm on their website now, so I'll find it. But
it was on their Twitter, I believe. Yeah, here you go. I believe.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got it. Brett Moffitt and MWR. All right. Ty Norris. Brett's been doing quite a bit of testing for us in various forms. We've seen a lot of progress with him. He's been very successful for us when he drove in in the K&N series, and even though we always felt that he should be the next driver to get the opportunity to go to the Truck Series, the Nationwide Series, but unfortunately FWR doesn't own the Nationwide Truck Series team, so an opportunity became available to run him in the Cup car at Dover with our relationship with J. Robinson Racing. Brett was as good as we thought he was going to be and very, very impressive. We decided to bring him up here at Michigan and run with a full MWR effort. It's just kind of see where he goes. In the meantime, we decided to go ahead and put him under a contract with a multi-year deal to try to advance his career and see if we can give him some opportunities to showcase his talent. We've seen a lot of young drivers come through, and he's just as good as any. He's racing against Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and some of those guys in the K&N series. We feel given the right opportunity, just like those guys have received great opportunities, he could show to be a very fast, very competitive race car driver at the Sprint Cup level.
Yeah.
So he's saying, then they're asking him what his schedule looks like. He'll say it's hazy a bit. We decided to put him in a contract without trying to nail down a schedule at first. After this event, we'll probably try to run him at least 3 or 4 more times this year out of the MWR camp. I don't know how many times he's going to be running the 66. He might run another 4 or 5 races this year, but it will have to be at the right place and the right time with the right resources supporting it. He probably won't run again until at least August, because at the same time Jeff Burton's going to run for us at New Hampshire, and we're trying to still figure out the whole schedule of the 66.
Yeah.
And then they're asking him about Burton's role, and he's saying Burton's role is going to be he's going to continue working with the 66 team and Michael Waltrip Racing. He's going to run at New Hampshire, but he's also going to be working with Brett when Brett does get opportunities to help coach him and use his experience to help fast track to understand. It's going to take someone like Jeff's experience to help work with Brett to get him comfortable racing through the event and thinking through the event and knowing how to race certain people at certain places. So obviously Jeff's experience is going to help him out with that. So that's the Brett Moffitt news, which, it's good. But how many other guys are under contracts that you don't see racing?
That's true.
A la Corey LaJoie, Ryan Truex. I mean, Truex has got his deal with BK Racing.
Not a good one, but
it's not a good one. But at least he's out there with his name. Again, I mean, you look at Corey LaJoie. I mean, Corey LaJoie was supposed to be the next great driver, and what's he doing right now? Sitting on the sidelines. The car he's supposed to be driving is being driven by Dakota Armstrong, which Dakota's good, but I mean, I don't think he's as good as Corey is. I think Corey's a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think Chad Little's kid's better than him.
Who?
I think Chad Little's son is better than Dakota Armstrong. But Chad doesn't have the money that everybody else has. So it's just interesting. You can go on and on. There's a bunch of guys, late models. I mean, you got Ross Kenseth. There's a bunch of guys. I tell you, the kid Austin Terry out, surprised the hell out of me when he was driving up there for junior up in Iowa. Stuff. It was very impressive.
You won the ARCA race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some talent, and junior better nail that kid down.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Hendrick's going to need another one down the road. And
could be it.
He could be another. He could be one waiting in the weeds. I mean, you just don't know. And the thing I was thinking of the other night, Jimmy Johnson was saying he's going to buy his daughter a quarter midget at some point. And Jeff Gordon's daughter Ella's racing now.
Yeah.
So we're going to have this Gordon Johnson thing going on for a long time now.
Yeah.
All we need is
one
of the Kenseth daughters to start racing, and then we'll have the Gordon Johnson Kenseth battle forever and ever and ever.
Kyle Larson's kid.
But I mean, the crazy thing with Larson though is he and his kid could actually race against each other, like down the road in Sprint Cup.
Well, they're both kids.
They're only going to be 20-something years apart, so it's very possible.
Crazy.
It's gonna be nuts, absolutely nuts. But it is what it is, man. So
Yeah.
I was looking through JSK. I don't really see anything else that's like crazy news that I gotta go like, oh my god, this guy is driving this car.
Not really, man.
Yeah, it's been the last couple of weeks has been pretty slow news wise, other than some of the other stuff.
Pretty quiet.
I'm looking through here. Roush is was talking about his driver lineup. He says, obviously we're not going to announce anything yet until later on, so that's no surprise there. I can't believe Farmers is only doing 12 races, man.
Yeah, and that's until 2017. Casey Kane's contract is only until 2015, so could be a change after that.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Probably not.
I think Casey's gonna go through 2017 now. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, more than likely. But yeah, there's not really much news out there at all.
Wow, Larson's kid's gonna be due on December 29th. So
Yep.
he doesn't have to worry about having a backup driver.
Nope. He planned this perfectly.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you know who his girlfriend is, right?
No.
You know Brad Sweet?
Yeah, it's his sister or something, isn't it?
Yep. Well, I mean, hey, Kyle was a sprint car driver, so obviously,
Yeah, they've been around. And now they've really been around.
That kid. That kid's going to get racing on every side, man.
Oh, yeah.
His uncle's going to be a race car driver. His dad's a race car driver. It's just,
This kid's going to be a race car driver if it's a guy or a girl. It's going to be pretty sweet. I guess we might as well make our race picks now, since there's not really much else to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, actually, what we could talk about is
What's
qualifying real quick.
Yeah, we could look at that.
All right, so here we go. Surprise of the weekend: Ryan Truex missed the race.
I thought he was going to sit on the pole, man.
I mean that sarcastically. All right, here's the starting lineup. I'll give you all 43 just for the hell of it. You got Harvick on the pole, Gordon second, Dale Jr.'s third. If Jr. blows up in a Superman-sponsored car again, I'm going to laugh. Eric Almirola is fourth, Menard's fifth, Brad Keselowski sixth, Jimmy Johnson seventh. You got Kurt Busch eighth, Logano ninth, Brian Vickers 10th, 11th is McMurray, 12th is Larson.
Papa Larson.
Then you got 13th is Casey Kane. Kyle Busch is 14th. 15th is Clint Boyer, matching his car number.
Yep.
16th is Truex. 17th is Allgaier. 18th is Biffle. 19th. 19th is Dillon, Austin Dillon, obviously. 20th is Marcos Ambrose. 21st is Matt Kenseth. Can never qualify to save his life. 22nd is Carl Edwards. 23rd is Trevor Bayne. Ryan Newman's 24th. 25th is Allmendinger. 26th is Tony Stewart. 27th is Danica. Making his return to Sprint Cup in 28th is Mr. Juan Pablo Montoya. Put the jet dryers in safekeeping this weekend. Hide the Air Titans from him as well.
Yeah.
29th is Denny Hamlin. 30th is Stenhouse. 31st is Casey Mears. 32nd is David Gilliland. 33rd is David Reagan. 34th is Brett Moffitt. 35th is J.J. Yeley. 36th is David Stremme. 37th is Michael Annett. 38th is Josh Wise. 39th is Landon Castle. 40th is Reed Sorensen. 41st is Bowman. 42nd is Cole Witt. And 43rd is Ryan Truex.
No, it's not. It's Travis Kvapil.
Yes. Travis Kvapil. Ryan Truex missed the show.
Yeah.
So then we'll go to Nationwide Series final practice. We'll give you some of that.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna give you. Yeah, just do the top 10. That's all.
All right. Leading practice is the great Paul Menard in the 33. Ty Dillon, second place. Chris Buescher in third. Chase Elliott is fourth, so that's 3 rookies in a row. Dale
Yes.
Jr. in the eBay car is fifth. Kyle Busch sixth. Dylan Kwasniewski seventh, another rookie. Sam Hornish in the 20 this weekend, eighth. Joey Logano ninth, and Brian Scott 10th.
Yeah.
Our buddy Ryan Sieg 19th. Pretty solid.
Not bad. He outran the 28. That's something.
Yeah. And over to the Truck Series, practice number 1.
Practice over at Gateway.
Making the return. Chase Pistone or Pistone, I can't say that name ever.
It's Pistone.
I think it's Chase Pistone. He led practice. Justin Lofton, once again, in the 20 truck, second. Jeb Burton, third. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Lofton's only in the truck for practice. Greg Galding is doing...
Yes, Greg Galding, yeah. Matt Crafton, fourth. Eric Jones, fifth. Cole Custer, sixth. Herman Quiroga, seventh. Joey Coulter, eighth. Darrell Wallace Jr., ninth. And 10th is Ryan Blaney.
And right behind him in 11th is John Hunter Nemechek.
John Hunter right there. And also of note in this practice, Nelson Piquet Jr. practiced the 5 car because John West Townley obviously running the ARCA race.
Why he's running the ARCA championship, I'll still never find out.
He's doing both.
Yeah, I don't get why. What's the point?
I don't know. More seat time.
If he doesn't win the ARCA championship, there's something wrong with this kid.
I don't think he will. I think it'll be
Kimball again?
Is it Clay Greenfield? I think. Or Grant Enfinger, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Enfinger is really good.
He's been owning the series. He's done really well. I guess we can make our race picks now.
All right,
since we went through practice and stuff. Start with Truck Series.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Truck Series, we got a lot of new names this weekend.
Yep.
No Cup guys. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to take one of the young guys. Maybe not somebody that you would expect me to take. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that good old Cole Custer is going to win this weekend.
That was my pick.
My sleeper, I mean, again, there's no sleepers. I mean, there's only 27 trucks in this field.
Everybody's a sleeper.
Everybody's, well, not really.
Not really.
No, because, I mean, I wouldn't call Johnny Sauter a sleeper.
No.
I wouldn't call Hornaday a sleeper. I wouldn't call...
Wait till you hear my nationwide pick. That's a sleeper.
I'm going to say my sleeper pick... I want to go with Herman Quiroga. I mean, why can't he win one of these truck races?
That's a solid pick. My pick to win the race this weekend, I'm going to also go with the young guy.
It's okay. We're not counting this for points. So if you want to take Cole Custer, take Cole Custer.
I'm not going to take Cole Custer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually go with the guy that led practice, Chase Pistone. I'm going to go with him. And my sleeper pick, this is a sleeper pick.
Oh, God.
I'm going to go with
Jimmy Weller. Is he even racing this weekend? Nope.
No, he got swapped out.
Didn't have the money for the weekend. Damn it.
I'm going to go with John Hunter Nemechek.
There you go.
My sleeper pick.
There you go. Hey, he won the race up in the Milwaukee Mile, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, he won the ARCA CRA late model or something.
Yeah. It's a pretty good race to win.
I'm gonna go get a prop to help me with my nationwide pick, so I'll be right back.
All right, so my nationwide pick.
Yours until I get back.
All right, go. Go get your pick, your prop, whatever the heck he's getting.
All right, you can go ahead and make your pick now.
What if I steal your pick?
You won't steal my sleeper pick. Don't you worry. There's
Okay.
no way.
I have a feeling I know who your sleeper pick is.
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think at all.
Is he a Canadian race car driver?
No. There's no Canadians in the field, I don't think.
Tommy Joe Martins isn't Canadian?
I don't think so.
How do you not know this, dude?
I don't know. Go ahead, make your pick.
All right. So my first pick
You better not take my guy.
is a good driver. I don't want to lose this weekend. So we're going to pick this guy because he's pretty good. He's good pretty fast. I'm going to go with Joey Logano. Why not?
All right. Who's your sleeper pick here?
Sleeper pick. I'm going to go with a real sleeper this time. I'm not going to go with
A cup guy or something.
a cup guy or somebody. And I'm not going to pick Ryan Sieg because, I can pick Ryan every single week and still finish better than half the guys in this field. I'm going to go with a real sleeper pick. I like this guy. I used to think he was a hell of a reelman. I'm going to go with Benny Gordon. What the hell?
Really?
Yeah. He's not going to finish that good.
All right. So my main pick, I gotta go with the cup guy this weekend. This is not my prop pick. That's my sleeper. My main pick this weekend, he's led both practices. He was fast in the Cup Series practice, or Cup qualifying. I'm gonna go with Paul Menard this weekend as my main pick in the Nationwide Series. And for my sleeper pick, this young man, he's definitely a sleeper. Definitely a sleeper. You don't know who this is until I...
Dude, I had the entry list in front of me. I know all the drivers in the field.
All right. This man...
You going with Harrison Rhodes? I mean, come on.
No, I'm not going with Harrison Rhodes. I'm going with a
Tanner
TriStar
Berry,
entry. I'm going to go with Blake Cook in the number 44
I had
machine.
an idea you were going to go with Blake Cook.
Blake Cook is my sleeper pick this weekend.
Now, let me ask you, is that a Blake Cook used visor?
This is a Blake Cook used and signed visor. You can't really see the...
How did you get that, though?
I won it through TriStar's Twitter page.
Oh, so if I go back through their feed, I'm going to see Robert Hill's name mentioned on here.
A while ago, yeah, I won it
Oh, God. I don't want to look for like
May.
6 months ago.
like May.
Oh, jeez.
It just got here today, actually. Just came U.S. Postal Service.
It just came in May, and you won it in May.
Yeah, because I guess they had to clear it through customs and everything.
Oh, my God.
All
It
right.
must have cost them an arm and a leg.
I don't know. I'll look after we go off air.
Must have cost them an arm and a leg. It must have been like a $30 ship.
I'll look after we go off air because I got all the shipping stuff here. All right, off to the Cup Series. Oh,
All right.
wow.
My main pick this weekend. You better not let me down. There's only one guy to pick this weekend.
No.
There's only one guy to pick.
All right, go for it.
He drives the number 88 Superman Chevy.
Dale Jr.
Dale Jr. Dale, yeah, man. Dale, yeah.
Dale, yeah.
I was going to buy that T-shirt, dude.
Yeah? Were you?
Yeah.
Dale, yeah?
Yeah. Dale, yeah.
All right.
I think he's going 2 for 2.
I don't know, man.
Run for his money.
And who's your sleeper?
Sleeper pick. There's no such thing as a sleeper pick in the Sprint Cup Series.
No.
Because all these drivers are capable of winning.
Most of them.
I will go with a guy that should have won a couple weeks ago. Has a very fast car.
Don't take
Soon
my
to
guy.
be a daddy. Kyle
Damn
Larson.
it. Damn
is
it.
gonna be my sleeper pick.
You took my guy.
I was gonna go Jamie McMurray and it changed it to Larson at the last second.
Alright, so I'm going double sleeper this weekend.
All right,
I'm going
one.
double sleeper. My first pick, this
Trevor
guy. Pardon?
Trevor Bayne.
This guy was fast in qualifying, fast in
Trevor.
nationwide practice.
Paul Menard.
Paul Menard in the 27.
Who's your favorite driver?
I've selected him twice this weekend. Not because he's my favorite driver, because I think he has a legit chance of winning. And this other guy, he was close a few times last year to winning a race, and then something seemed to go wrong all the time. I don't know if you can think of who I'm thinking. He hasn't won a Cup race yet, driving for a Ford team.
Hasn't won a Cup race yet. Driving for a Ford team. Juan Pablo's won.
Possibly sponsored by a food company.
Dude, all the Ford drivers have won a Sprint Cup race besides Josh Wise. And David
Driving
won.
the number 43, Eric
That's
Almirola.
true. Yeah, that's true.
That's my second sleeper this weekend.
Fun stuff. And yeah, I gotta tell you a good story about Almirola off the air.
All right, can't wait to hear it.
Someone told me a good one. All right, so Rob and I are gonna have a great chat off air because every
Lots
week
of
we
fun.
do, and it's the reason why we do it off air is because I don't want this stuff getting out there. Because then someone will say, "Oh, did you hear what so and so said about so and so?" And then it's never good. All right, so we're gonna try to do another show next week. I don't know the date yet. It's probably gonna be Thursday or Friday, just like we've been doing when we do the shows.
Yeah, probably Thursday because I'll be racing on Wednesday. So
We better see some photos of this car, dude. You promised them on Sunday.
yeah, I forgot to take a picture. I'll take a picture before the race because it'll probably be all damaged. I put the Crew
Please.
Chiefs Corner logo up high so it wouldn't get damaged.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah,
How small is the decal on the Ford car? Real small?
No, man, it's good size.
All right.
Good size. That's why I'm
How's
racing
it on
Wednesday.
how's it on your number 20 car?
Hood.
There you go.
It's the hood
That's what I'm
logo.
talking about. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Last time I was in the 4T car for Kisner Racing, which
You were
was
second, my man.
like a month ago. I finished second. We're second in the points right now.
Well, I hope you be second in the points.
Looking to go win that trophy, man. With Crew Chiefs Corner, Works Environmental, Husby Designs, and the Arn Pryor and District Humane Society on the side of the car.
Is that the Works charity?
No, that's our team charity this year. Myself and my teammate Andrew.
Very cool.
Selling like stickers and stuff at the track, and then we're gonna donate all the money to the Humane Society. So that's pretty cool.
No hero cards, huh?
Not yet. The guy that was supposed to make them never made them, so I'm waiting for my
That's
new
good.
design guy to make them.
Damn it, Elliot! Everything Henderson design comes up with sucks. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, that's it for this week. Episode 15, season 2. We'll post the replay of this shortly after we get off the air over on our Facebook page, and
I
we
gotta
hope you'll join us next
redesign the
week.
website, so you're not gonna stay on the website for about a week.
Yeah, we're gonna work on a new website design, make it look cool.
Yeah, Husby's gonna have to come. No, just kidding.
Not as basic. It's gonna look cool.
Husby's not coming up with that design because I
No,
don't
we're-
have $500 to spend on that.
We're gonna actually put some bios and stuff on there that don't have people that have never appeared on the show.
Oh, like Nick DeGroot?
Yeah, like Nick, he's still on the website. He's never even been on the show.
I think we're gonna delete Elliot's. All right, next week we'll talk about that next week.
All right. See you guys.